Morning, YouTube family. I'm here with another one. Um, the title of this one is "How Reselling Saved My Life." Uh, man, since the beginning of time, I done always been in the hood, in the ghetto, in the streets, and being that I didn't grow up with any kind of father, I mean, my grandmother raised me, and I got the best upbringing that I could get, but I didn't have a father for that discipline. So I got into a lot of mess in the streets. I made a whole lot of bad decisions that I shouldn't have made because there was no one around to tell me, hey, don't do that. So a whole lot of experience that I gained, a whole lot of lessons that I learned was totally because the Lord whipped my ass and made me see the light on certain situations. Um, I've done a lot in the streets. I was a street pharmacist for the longest time. And all I got from that was shot. October 16th, 2000, shot 6 times, 3 in the chest, 1 in the arm, 1 in each leg. I done probably said this before in a previous video, but I'm pretty much explaining how reselling saved my life. So I got shot up, and back when I got shot back in 2000, there was no uh, nothing about an opioid epidemic. There was no talk of fentanyl. There was no talk of anything. As a matter of fact, it was still in pain medications heyday when doctors were passing out 30, 60 count of pills for springing an ankle or a hangnail or something. Minuscule minor injuries would get you a lot of pain medicine. And at this point, I didn't know anything about pain medicine. I mean, I'm pretty much from the streets. Don't At this time, no one was doing pills on the streets. This stuff wasn't even on the streets. So the only way I got access to it was from getting shot and the doctor prescribing it. Well, back then, true to form, the doctor was the biggest drug dealer, and he kept me high for a long time. And then, just like doctors do, he cut me off without rhyme or reason or warning. I was unable to get my medication, anything, and I resorted to pretty much what everybody else resorts to, trying to find my stuff by any means necessary, which is on the streets. By the time I was actually forced to go out on the streets and look for it, it was on the street, along with fentanyl, along with a whole lot of other stuff that wasn't right. Um, so I ended up with a pill habit from that. Uh, Crazy thing is, after I finished with the street life and decided what I wanted to do it myself, I decided to go and become a nurse. So I've always been smart. My brain always been firing on all cylinders. So I did nursing school with no problem and became a nurse. But I went into nursing without leaving the drug habit. So I went into nursing with a drug habit. Not ideal. Probably shouldn't do that. Probably should work on issues like that before you go into a career like that. So, like I said, no guidance. So I went into that career and I became a nurse. And the whole time I was working as a nurse, I was still on drugs. I was still on pain pills. And being that I was working on the med cart where all the pain medicine and stuff is, it was like easy access. So I did a whole lot of things I'm not proud of. And it led me down a long, dark, depressing road. I eventually got in trouble, lost my license, uh, got kicked out of nursing, and my life felt pretty much over. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was stuck doing moving jobs. I would have to go to moving jobs, and I'd be on Craigslist looking to see if anybody had any daily work and any daily pay. And it was really depressing. I really didn't know what I was going to do with myself. And at that moment, I was stuck, and I was forced to address some accountability. I was forced to talk to that person in the mirror. And one of the questions that I asked myself is, why is our life so messed up? And the answer that came back is because, duh, dummy, you on drugs. So after I came to the realization that I'm my own problem, I went down to the rehab place, and I talked to the people at the rehab, and I told them, I said, listen, I gotta do something different than this, because my life is not the life that I want. And that was the first day that I actually admitted that I had a problem, and I actually sought help for my problem. And I went down to the rehab place, and they did a whole lot of evaluation and this, that, and the third, and they put me on some medicine that would so-called take the cravings away. And all the medicine did was make me mad and make me throw up. So I stopped taking the medicine, um, probably after the first dose. So I essentially had to kick uh, cold turkey, no anything, because the medicine was trash. The medicine that they had at that time, uh, Suboxone, the little strips that you put under your tongue, um, weren't effective for me, so they didn't work. So if I was really serious about getting clean and getting off the drugs and whatnot, then I was going to have to do a cold turkey. There was no way around it. Uh, and I did that. Uh, one day turned into a week, and a week turned into 2 weeks, and 2 weeks turned into a month. And I was good because I had the mental resolve inside myself, like, yeah, I'm finished, I'm finished, I'm finished. And the whole time I was doing the drugs, when I was broke, it was never a problem. When I was broke, I won't breaking in pawn shops. I won't doing nothing crazy. I won't trying to steal nobody radio out their car, anything like that. I just chill because I realize I ain't got no money. I can't get high. So ain't nothing to do. The real test for me is when I got some money, because when you get some money, that's when everything that you've been talking about, we about to see, because now you have the ability and you have access to go get what you want. So if you go get what you want, then I guess all that talking you was doing was just talking. If you're afraid, if you don't, if you work on what you're trying to work on, then I guess you for real this time. So I finally got a piece of money, and it scared me half to death because I just knew I was going to get high. But something happened. Something told me, nah, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Life will be sweeter for you if you give this mess up and do something better. And at that time period, throughout my whole life, I've always been a praying man. My grandmama kept me in church every day. The doors was open. So my foundation in church is pretty deep. So I always knew who the Lord was. And I always knew that if I had a problem, I could call on him and he'd work it out for me. And that's exactly what he did through prayer and asking the Lord to take the taste for the drugs away from me. He did that. And I got clean. I would say that was around 2021. So it's been about 4 years now. But even though I was clean, I lost my nursing license. I ain't had no job. I ain't had no career. I ain't had no money. Life was shitty. So I didn't know what to do. At that point, I was sitting around. When I was working, I would work. When I won't work, and I was looking at YouTube. And then one day I seen a video talking about reselling stuff. So I said, wow, because at this point, I didn't even know I knew you could sell and resell certain stuff, cars, boats, stuff like that. But the thought of selling shoes and clothes and stuff for the second time was intriguing to me. So I kept listening. And I listened. And after I got tired of listening, I said, forget this. I got to try this. So I bought me a pair of Air Max 90s, little kid Air Max 90s off Facebook Marketplace for $15. And I didn't know anything about reselling, so I made a listing and I put them right back on Facebook Marketplace for $45. Not too long after that, I received an offer from a guy. He said he'd give me 40 for them. So at that point, mind blown, because he's telling me he's going to give me $40 for something I just paid $15 for. Okay, let's see it. So we set up to meet. We met. He got the shoes. He liked the shoes. He gave me the $40. He went his way. I sat in the car, and I looked at those 220s for a long time, because for the longest time, this is the first time I've ever flipped something legally. And my head was blown. I was like, yo, you can jive, make money selling not old, but pre-owned shoes and clothes. You can actually make money doing that. So, oh my God, once I got that proof of concept from that first sale, it was a wrap. I started selling everything. I started looking for mess to sell. And I started actively working toward making this something that would be able to sustain me and mine. I started putting the work in. I started putting the effort in as far as learning how to do what I was doing. And that was like 3 or 4 years ago. That first pair of shoes that I sold. And now I sell on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop. And let's see, I got like 6,500 sales on eBay. And between the other three, probably another 200-300. So I'm probably closing in on 7,000 sales throughout the time I've been doing this. I'm not a rich man, but I'm way better than I was. I definitely don't have to go work on no moving trucks or anything like that. And it all came about because, number one, I looked at myself to see what the problem was. Number two, I prayed to God and asked him to fix it. And number three, when he presented a solution for all my madness and a way to get out of it, I took it. So with all that being said, that's the reason, and that's how reselling saved my life. Me and reselling found each other when I needed it. I don't know if it needed me, but I needed it because I needed something other than going to a moving truck. Look at me, my whole face gray. Do I look like I got time to run up and down a daggone moving truck, up and down people's steps with boxes and beds and box springs? I'm here to tell you, manual labor hurts. So I thank the Lord that he freed me from my addiction. I thank the Lord that he turned my life around. And I thank the Lord that reselling was an option for me. Reselling saved my life. Without it, Lord knows where I'd be. I'd probably be still getting broke down on moving trucks. So reselling definitely saved my life. And I just wanted to share that with y'all this morning. What reselling did for me and what it could possibly do for you. If you're working a dead-end job, if you're working a job you don't like, if you're working for people you don't like, if you're working on other people's dreams and not working on your own, you might want to consider reselling. You might want to at least see what it is and what it got going on. So that's my story time for this morning. I pretty much got to go to work because it's around 7 o'clock in the morning. I got to go to the storage unit and get my mess because I got to ship. It's every day. I'm going to be coming with more videos as far as how I do things, showing my setup and all of that. But I'm just getting started. Like I said, I'm an old guy. I'm not good with the internet and whatnot. I'm not really good with phones. I'm just good with putting this thing up and pressing play. So once I get the editing and all that stuff together, hopefully I'll bring forth a more polished product for you guys. Right now, I'm just giving you what I got. So with that being said, if you got anything from the video, if it helped, if you can relate, then please let me know in the comments. Let me know how you feel about what I said. Let me know. Conversation is key. And I like talking. So if you got anything from anything I said, please, by all means, hit me up. If you're feeling what I'm saying and feeling the content that I'm putting out, please like the video, subscribe to the channel because I'm not going to stop. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what I got to do. I will be popping on YouTube. So that's enough of me talking, family. I'm going to talk to y'all later. And YouTube, I love you. I'm going to holler at you later. Gone.